The small village of Frostmere was nestled at the edge of a dense, icy forest. As the nights grew longer and the air colder, a strange stillness settled over the town. One by one, children began disappearing from their beds, their windows left open to the biting cold, with only faint traces of sleigh tracks in the snow. Mila, a young ranger, swore to uncover the truth. Armed with her bow and a lantern, she followed the tracks deep into the woods, where they led to an ancient workshop built from jagged ice and bound with rusted iron. The air was heavy with the scent of peppermint and blood. Inside, grotesque, animated toys scuttled about, their sharp claws and jagged teeth gnashing as they worked tirelessly. At the center of the room stood Santa Claus, a towering figure cloaked in crimson. His face was obscured by a tangle of white hair, and his glowing eyes burned with malice. Over his shoulder hung a massive, writhing sack that screamed and groaned, filled with more than just gifts. Before Mila could react, Santa turned, and with a booming laugh, he raised his candy cane scythe. "You've been very naughty this year," he growled, his voice echoing with eldritch power. This version of Santa Claus is no festive saint. He's a fiendish entity conjured by ancient winter magic, feeding on the fear and despair of those who dread the long, cold nights. Legends say Santa was once a benevolent being who brought joy, but after a twisted deal with an archdevil, he became a nightmare wrapped in holiday cheer. Santa Claus is a towering figure, draped in a tattered red cloak that shimmers like fresh blood. His face is hidden beneath a mask of frosty white hair, save for his glowing red eyes. His massive frame is both bulky and unnervingly agile, his steps accompanied by the haunting jingle of silver bells. Over his shoulder, he carries the Sack of Infinite Terror, a fiendish artifact that traps souls in an extra-dimensional prison. Santa Claus is a fiend with a terrifying array of abilities. Reindeer Horde, Santa summons 8 spectral reindeer to trample his enemies. Each reindeer strikes with unrelenting force, dealing psychic and cold damage as their glowing eyes pierce into their prey. Sack of Infinite Terror. Santa can target a creature within 30 feet, pulling it into his magical sack. Inside, victims are trapped in a maze of endless holiday cheer, taking psychic damage as they endure tormenting visions of Christmas festivities. Candy Cane Scythe. Santa wields a massive, razor-sharp scythe forged from enchanted candy canes. The weapon deals slashing and cold damage, and on a critical hit, it leaves its victims cursed with unending frostbite. Milk and Cookies Aura. Within 60 feet of Santa, creatures must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or succumb to lethargy, losing their will to fight as they are lulled into a false sense of security. Silent Night. Once per day, Santa can plunge a 1-mile radius into absolute silence and darkness, rendering spells requiring verbal components impossible and cloaking himself in shadows. Santa's lair is an infernal workshop hidden deep in icy wildernesses or atop snow-covered peaks. Here, cursed elves craft grotesque animated toys that serve as Santa's minions. The workshop itself is filled with traps, including razor-edged tinsel, enchanted nutcrackers, and explosive ornaments. Santa emerges during the coldest, longest nights of the year, stalking settlements to collect souls for his fiendish master. He targets the young and the weak, leaving behind only despair and destruction. Using Santa Claus as a D&D monster is a surefire way to bring dark holiday horror to your table. Here are some ideas for how to incorporate him into your game. The Curse of Frostmere. A small village is plagued by a string of disappearances during the winter solstice. The adventurers must uncover the truth, tracking the sinister figure behind the horrors to his frozen lair. Santa's Naughty List. The party is marked as naughty after inadvertently breaking an ancient winter pact. Santa begins hunting them, sending his horrifying toys and reindeer to weaken them, before delivering his final punishment. Infernal Deal. A desperate noble summons Santa Claus to secure a bountiful harvest during the harsh winter. But the deal comes with a price. The adventurers must confront Santa before the entire town is taken. Holiday Heist. The players infiltrate Santa's workshop to rescue kidnapped children or retrieve an artifact stolen from the town's temple. The workshop is filled with fiendish traps, cursed toys, and the ominous presence of Santa himself. Santa Claus, the Yuletide horror, is a twisted take on a beloved legend. His sinister presence, grotesque minions, and dark abilities make him a memorable and terrifying antagonist for any winter-themed campaign. Whether stalking villages, trapping adventurers in his endless sack, or delivering punishment with his deadly scythe, Santa reminds us all sometimes it's better to stay off the list altogether. Subscribe for more explorations into the darkest and most twisted monsters of Dungeons & Dragons. But beware, when the bells jingle and the snow falls red, Santa Claus is coming to town.